That spec logo is still up there because I haven't opened up Figma.
Oh no, we're giving them free publicity.
That's all right.
Just count if they don't exist anymore. Hi everyone. Good evening. Moderator Paul Straw in the chat. Hi. I'm actually using that the document camera as my webcam. Just flipped it up. It's a pretty good webcam actually. And it has its own little stand, so works. I can do this too. That's fun. Get like an edgy angle.
An edgy angle. It's super edgy.
Now I'm just worried if it's not straight. Lil Dutch? Sorry, the reference was lost on me.
Is it a pool reference?
Oh, yes. That is what that's called, the Dutch angle. Lots of skateboarding shots. Today I learned. Or to relearn, probably. I don't know. What's going on, chat? Happy Thursday.
Thursday indeed.
Just got down some Rocket League with my boys, doing a little rumble. Always a good time. Hey Paul, I got to use WebQueen's Oculus Quest 2 yesterday, and it's pretty dope. That's funny. Sean, you just got called out.
I'm not even looking. Yeah. I have to sign into Figma to change it.
It's funny because we just noticed that.
Figma is the last thing I want to look at the end of the day, you know? Looking at
Sure.
Figma all day long.
Sure.
What's up, Milo?
Yeah, welcome. Yeah, the Quest 2 is pretty cool. I feel like it's more responsive than the Rift in terms of like head movement. It felt very, very smooth. Resolution didn't seem that much better. Maybe it is. I don't know. But it was really lightweight, really comfortable, fit pretty fine over my glasses. Obviously, I love that it's portable. Don't love that you're stuck into, Oculus's store thing. Was the resolution that much better? Okay, I don't have a ton of experience, so it did seem clear, but I thought it was 70 hertz versus 90. I guess it wasn't the refresh rate. It just felt more like it was tracking the motion better. Especially when you've got like the camera view where you can kind of like see your surroundings. I thought that was really, really effective. Like, I'm not going to be able to see the difference between 72 and 90 hertz, but like, I don't know. Maybe it's just perception, or not real. Okay. I might be wrong. I don't, interesting. Okay. Frame rate makes a big difference. I haven't spent a lot of time with the Rift either. It's just been preoccupied with other projects, as you know. Oh yeah, drop frames while you're doing dev work. I can imagine that would be really upsetting. Might be a latency thing too, because the Quest is all internal and you don't have a, HDMI cable. Might make a difference too. But yep. How you doing over there, Sean? Moo 2.
I'm busy.
Good busy?
I'm busy, Rockwell.
Not too busy to talk with me, right? Not too busy for DNC.
There. Now everyone's going to be happy.
What'd you do? Change the music? Oh, he's working on Figma, guys.
What's going on, Lightstream?
Oh, don't screw with it now. We'll be doomed.
It's just going to not update.
Yeah, I don't see it updating.
This software gets me every time, you know?
Can you just put a black square over it?
Literally what I'm doing. Whatever, Lightstream. Now I'm going to be mad the whole show. I'm just upset now. Can't even bother. Oh, and then when I switch back, it says attempting to reconnect. Just... I'm going to try to ignore it. Catching me at the end of a long week, you know? Well,
I guess
a long, short week.
Long, short. I was going to say 4-day week.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know that feeling. Yep. Still not updated. No pressure.
Can brute force this thing. Here we go.
And just make your... Nope.
Are you kidding? Nope. Unreal.
It's like a out damned logo.
I'm going to cancel my subscription.
Maybe only we can see it. Anyway, do you want to get this show on the road? Attempt to get the show on the road.
Now I'm mad.
Lurch towards.
I'm mad at this. Come on.
Lurch towards the.
There it is.
The road.
Okay. I had to drag it to a different position in the layer stack. Even though it was on top, it was just straight up on top before. So.
Law, can you see my?
It's up, Thomas.
My poster over here, and also this one. Whoops. This one was designed by Suzanne Lamb. And yes, that is Tally Hall.
What does that mean?
It's a band that we like. That was one of their album arts.
Very Cape Cod.
And yeah, this is a friend of mine was like, well, where is it? I can point. A friend of mine from high school was commissioned by the National Park Service to like make these awesome watercolor artworks. So I bought her one for Cape Cod, where we grew up.
Nice.
It's pretty awesome. All right. Is it time?
Sure. Don't install. All right.
Don't. You're just gonna keep. I'm recording. You're just gonna keep pushing that off.
Well, I can't do it now because it will break everything.
So you say every week.
Well, because there's an update every week. So basically the deal is every time I use audio hijack or loopback, there seems to be some update which requires me to stop everything that's using audio, which would mean that I would have to stop the stream to update. And if you install the update but don't reinstall Ace or update Ace, then you just can't use the app.
Classic.
Yeah.
Classic catch-22. That's actually not the right way to use that term, but
I'll allow
something
it.
like that. I don't know enough to dispute it.
Who's clapping?
It's an odd episode, so that means I still have to look. I think it's my turn. I think you clapped last week. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Schrodinger's catch.
Let's just get the pocket operator and like do the clap for me. Or sample the clap and then play it back.
I need to get one of those. Those things seem cool.
They are way too much fun.
It seems like it'd be really cool.
The thing that's nice about the pocket operators is that they like you can spend all day sitting in front of Logic, like moving tracks around and stuff, but like just focusing and just having it be this like self-contained thing that forces you, it has all these limitations, right? And so it sort of focuses you to just work around the limitations / use them, to their maximum effect. Really narrows the scope of like what kind of music you can make. Especially for someone who doesn't ever like make music and doesn't know what the hell they're doing, having this little pocket operator like toy that's just so limited in functionality is really gets the creative juices flowing, I think. I'll put a link to this in the chat here, the Teenage Engineering Pocket Operators.
For me, it's kind of about applying constraints to the like you were saying, kind of like is limited, right? You don't have all the bells and whistles. 1 second. I shouldn't be talking with gum in my mouth. It's about applying. It's about like applying constraints. Like without those constraints, you might get focused on bells and whistles and knobs to try to be creative, and then it's kind of just like trying to spruce up a house that doesn't have strong bones. So by stripping away all the bells and whistles and things to focus on, you sort of can focus on the roots of the song. This make the bones of the song strong, make it coherent, make it make sense, and then you can use effects. It's never good like if a song kind of like needs the effects, then it doesn't really stand on its own. I mean, I say that, and then I listen to like U2 where like that's the sound, that's their sound. It's like a dotted eighth note delay. But I think in many cases you can get distracted and focus on the wrong thing.
Yeah, and it's not meant to be a device to make a full song, right? You can, but like I think it's more of a sort of, I see it as more of like an inspiration / like maybe you use some of the samples in a bigger like piece or something, right? Kind of solution, or just for messing around, just for fun, because why not?
It's interesting for me to think about trying to be creative outside the bounds of a computer, because it's something I haven't done in a very long time. So I think like everything that I'm producing is sort of like revolves around software, or revolves around something on my laptop or a computer. So the idea of producing something creatively outside of that, away from that, is interesting to me right now.
Yeah, so just to back up a half step, for people who are not familiar with these things, because I wasn't until recently, a pocket operator, it's a handheld device. It's about the size of a calculator, looks like a calculator, has an LCD screen and a handful of buttons and knobs. But it's just a bare PCB. It's like there's no even case for it. It's just a bare circuit board with battery slapped on the back of it, and these cute little animations. And they're just designed to be music making devices, and they have all different varieties of them for doing drums or bass or synths or like video game sounds. and so on and so forth. And you can link them together so you can have multiple pocket operators, like the output of one feeding into the input of another. And you can make lots of layers of sound, and they're all synced up with the metronome, and so they're all playing at the same tempo and stuff. And they're fun niche little devices that as we've said, are just fun for messing around in. So what is cool about it is, like you said, it gets you away from the computer. Instead of staring at your 5K display, you're looking at this little LCD display with two guys fighting each other with like fisticuffs. There's like punching back and forth animation. That's one of the things that it does.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Thomas is asking which pocket operator would I recommend. I settled on the PO33, the KO. This one is cool because it seemed like the most flexible to me. The thing that's cool about it is it's divided into rhythm sections and drum sections, so you can sort of build multiple layers on that. It's not all one or the other. And the other cool thing about the KO is it's a sampler, so you can literally, like, the sky's the limit with the sounds that you can put into this thing. You can record them on the mic. You could get GarageBand on your phone and just record samples from like a keyboard or a synth or a drum or whatever you want. You can load this thing up with any samples and then sequence them into making music. To me, like, that endless possibility was really appealing. So that's why I ended up picking that one.
I really enjoy how Twitch's URL parsing is busted in the chat.
Yeah, it's weird. It goes teenage.engineerin and it stops after the N. It doesn't continue past the G. It's weird.
But yeah, that it's kind of interesting to me now. I don't know. It's I'm starting to get like into the phase where it's getting nicer outside. The sun's out more, so maybe I'm just like wanting to be outside more. It's not dark all the time, like when I wake up and when I'm done working. So I feel like maybe more restless. Maybe that's what's driving that feeling of like, get me away from this computer for a little bit.
Yeah, I feel that. Well, I mean, not the weather. The warm weather will come.
It's been cold. Well, I can't say it's been cold compared to the rest of the America. So
yeah, well, I don't think we have any right to complain right now.
I can't complain about it. It's been like in the 50s. So, and the sun's been out, so we're lucky there too. Mm-hmm. We don't have sheets of ice covering everywhere, and we have power, so we're good.
Yep. Cool. Yeah. Just rocking out over there. What else has been going on? Forget about non-computers. You want to talk about computers?
Yeah. What else has been going on? I just been kind of like busier. So not that I'm working more hours, but I just have more things to get done in the same amount of hours, I guess. That's a dumb way to say it, but I guess my duties are expanding. So I'm having more duties that aren't directly related to engineering as well. So again, Thomas, thanks for that book that you got me from the Stripe Press. I think like that's going to be coming in handy. I forget the title
what is that?
offhand. It's sitting on my nightstand right now. Looking it up. An Elegant Puzzle, Systems of Engineering. I'll pull up the link here. But yeah, so my duties are growing. I have more like non-technical things, which means, sometimes more meetings, more talking to people, and just new types of problems to be solving. So, I mean, it's good. Like, I like the varied work. That's one thing that I really liked about, pre-MetaLab life was, depending on the day, I could be doing something totally different. And while that did ultimately like end up grinding me down to nothing, sometimes it's nice to have that variability. So it's kind of cool to have different segments of the day. Like, okay, these few hours are like engineering. These few hours are thinking about the roadmap for this project and the engineers I'm working with. And then these few hours are about these other things. So,
mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm trying to be a little bit vague, I guess, on some of the things. But I guess with
Sure.
with MetaLab, I'm coaching two people, so two engineers that I'm not directly working with. So that just means like recurring meetings where I'm talking to them, making sure they're doing okay, they're happy, they feel like they're learning and growing. And my job is to, advocate for them and make sure that if there's a problem that they need solved or something they communicated up the chain, then I handle that. So that's new-ish to me, and I'm looking forward to it. Like I think it's going to be a good challenge, but yeah, it's a new challenge for me.
Mm-hmm. That's I don't know. How do you feel? You feel like you're getting? Let me say this. You said it feels like you're getting further and further away from your sort of engineering roles, like maybe more hands-on stuff. How is that? How does it make you feel? Is it just a natural evolution, or like do you?
It's not necessarily that I'm getting farther away from it because I still have to do it. It's just there's more to do at the same time, maybe. So there's more multitasking or more context switching involved than I might be used to. Because I think like with pre-MetaLab stuff, it was always sort of engineering related or solving a problem via programming. And now the new stuff that I'm doing, it like has nothing to do with programming in a sense. Like the people that I'm working with might be engineers, but it's people stuff, not computer stuff.
Got it.
Yeah.
Different kind of problem solving.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm trying to like observe like how I listen. Am I listening like for the right things? Am I like presupposing things? Am I putting my own lens on things? And so maybe I'm thinking too hard about that stuff, but those are things I don't want to do, is like have someone communicate something to me and then I take it and run with it through my understanding, which may be incorrect. And then the person being like, well, instead of like actually listening to what I said, you just made an assumption and did this other thing, which that's what I don't want to happen at all. So yeah.
But at the same time, you don't want to sort of over constrain maybe like what you're, you don't want every interaction to someone to be like so detail oriented that you don't miss anything, right? Like you need to sort of navigate that area of like trying to understand what people actually need to get done.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then having to communicate that, because like one thing, I mean, Greg said it just like in passing on the show that he was on last, but like he can say things to me and then I can hear them a certain way and then relay them a different way, right? And so I've been thinking about that a lot because that's something I don't want to be doing on behalf of these people that I'm supposedly helping, be fulfilled in all that stuff. So, yeah. So Thomas is saying like those are hard skills to build because their effects are hard to measure, which is very, very true. And in many cases, those effects aren't relayed or to you, like a person that may be having those negative or experiencing those negative effects may say nothing about it. And then he followed up with like, do you get reviewed by your directs? Yes. Yes, I do.
Pretty frequently too, I think, right? Every quarter or so, you said?
Sorry, what was that?
You get reviewed by people pretty frequently, what it sounded like.
Well, so I have meetings, like I have weekly meetings with my coach, which aren't necessarily reviews. They're more of like, I guess what I should be doing, for my reports too. But it's funny because like in those calls, she'll ask me how I'm doing and I'll start talking about the project and she's like, I didn't ask you about the project. I'm like, damn, she got me, kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It's like something new to me. So I'm trying to just learn, just try to be observant maybe. And I don't want to fall in the trap of just being really busy and that being my excuse for not observing, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm trying to then on top of that figure out like, are there sort of for like MR reviews, right? So, there's probably a certain number of things you probably want to like, I say MR because we're using GitLab in this project, but like PR or whatever. There are probably like a certain number of things you should generally look for. And so I think it's also a little bit different depending on who you're working with. So you need to know the people you're working with. So for person A, you might need to look for these set of things. And for person B, you might need to look for these set of things. And so what I'm trying to do is figure out a system of like, how can I keep track of all this stuff so I can still be effective even if I have less time to do the reviews, you know?
Sounds
Because
like you need like a Rolodex, like a Michael Scott Rolodex of your
yeah,
employees.
if only we had the technology for this.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm trying to figure out. So really, I just want to do right by everybody and trying to figure out what that means for me practically, like what I need to change about what I'm doing from day to day, or how often I reflect on things. So yeah,
It's so it's so crazy to hear you talk about working in this capacity, because I'm having such a hard time relating to this right now, because I don't have that desire, or like what am I trying to say here, like what you do, like I feel like I could never do, because I'm not interested in it.
yeah,
I don't feel like I would be good at it. Like I like I feel like our paths sort of crossed and are slowly diverging. Not that's a bad thing, right? Like just different paths, but like I'm trying to learn from you what it's like, because I think it's interesting to hear about, and just further reinforces that like that doesn't sound like it's for me.
yeah.
And I kind of worry, because I don't want that to be like a ceiling on my career path, you know? I mean, I feel like as you get more senior in, as an engineer in your career, like people tend to step into manager roles. And I worry about that. Like, I don't want that to be off the table, but at the same time, I feel like I'm taking it off the table prematurely.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if there's a lot I can do about it right now, being self-employed, but it's just something I think about sometimes, that like, am I self-limiting, by not, taking those kind of steps, or is there another path forward that, allows me to advance, my career and my skill set, but still, just sort of keep on the technical side of things.
Well, so I have a couple of thoughts on this. Obviously, like, you can probably take what I'm saying with a grain of salt, because I haven't worked for every company out there. But there's like more paths that you can go into, and it does seem like, like before, I guess even before working at MetaLab, that was sort of what I had envisioned too, is like generally every engineer ends up going into management on some level, people management, not necessarily like more, I don't know, more project management or whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to see like there's also the other side of it for people that don't want to do that, and that's like the principal side or the architect side. So there are other places you can sort of graduate to, and again, I don't know, like I haven't done research on like how many jobs are available in management versus architect, right? But there's a path on the other side too. So I don't necessarily think that you should worry about, am I really limiting my career by not wanting to go down this other path, because there are plenty of paths that you could go down.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a really good point. And I try to think of examples of people I've known who have been in that role and been successful, and I just feel like there maybe aren't as many, but maybe I just wasn't able to identify, that's what
Yeah.
that's who those people were, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, what's been relayed to me is that it's been harder to find developers that want to do the people, like move into the lead track, and most of them, I say most as again, that was relayed to me, but many developers would rather go the other route, the principal route, the non-people management route. Sort of like being experts in their domain, and they come in when they need to solve a complex problem or recommend a complex solution to somebody.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of a it comes with the territory, in terms of if you're a sort of analytical thinker, you tend to sort of be more inclined to do that more than try to
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
kind of double down and, like you said, kind of become a master of domain.
Yeah, but it's a big world. There's a lot of stuff to be done out there. So yeah,
For sure.
I wouldn't be too worried about that. But I mean, that's still something that I think about too. Is like, I enjoy talking to people. Like, I think even if, like, my whole life I've been described as like introverted and shy, right? Not outgoing. Yet originally I gravitated towards a music career as a performer. which doesn't seem to make sense at all, right? But for for me, it was more about, I enjoyed the creative aspect of it. I liked writing a lot. I liked playing a lot. Like I like playing live music. The crowds were never the important thing to me, but almost secondary to the music was the people that would hang around after the show. The small group of people that shows up, not the big group of people that shows up.
Sure. Yeah.
And that's where I found a lot of fulfillment in music, like meeting people. It was the coolest thing to me to like meet someone in a state that you don't live in, and then you go back months later and they still know who you are, and they remember you. They remember your conversations, and they remember, like, they even followed you on social media. Like, to me, that was the coolest part of being in a band. So I think part of me, that's where part of me gets fulfillment in, like, connecting to people on the people management side of engineering. Is really, I just want to like be able to connect with people, and then if I have experience they can learn from, relay that experience. That's really what matters to me. So
when I was in high school, I went out of my way to go to Boston and see shows for this band I really like. It's called Tally Hall. Now defunct, unfortunately. But what we did was I made Pokemon cards for each member of the band, because they each wear a different color tie. So I matched the color of the Pokemon card to the color of the tie they wore.
Yeah.
And what happened was I messed one of them up, and I accidentally like put one guy on two of them, like with the wrong name. And so I give them the cards after the show, and they're looking through like, oh, these are cool. And they're like, wait, that's the wrong person. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And he's like, no, it's actually better this way.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember. I have to ask my brother like some of the specifics about the story, but I remember we were playing a show, and these kids had drawn us pictures of like what they thought our spirit animals were. And I thought that was the craziest thing. Yeah, I was like, what? Like, you took the time to like think about what our spirit animals would be based on what you know about us, and draw this picture to put in my mind.
I love that. What were you?
Yeah, like that's what I'm trying to remember. Like, me and my brother, like, one of us was like a wolf and one was a bear, but I don't remember which one it was, like who was who. But I'd have to ask him. But anyway, yeah, like, I think that's what interests me in the people side. Like, I am really not interested in estimation and Jira-ing and how can we chop this work up to make sure it's done in parallel, and how much is too much to put in a Jira ticket. Like, how much time of mine should I take up front to make sure it's completely filled out, versus how much should I trust the engineers I'm working with to be able to put together the context. I don't care about any of that stuff. I do it because it's part of my role, but I could care less about that side of it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's not what I expected you to say, but I think that's really cool.
I mean, I want to be good at it because I just like, I want to be good at the role, but yeah, it's not my favorite thing to do.
Sure.
I go back and forth on it a lot, but yeah. So I'm trying to like reason about, or I think through all that stuff, and then also at the same time, like, how many points can I get done in this sprint? How many tickets can I finish? And finish well and have them make sense. And I think like one thing I don't want to happen is get busy but still feel like I need to contribute to the actual sprint, and then start submitting first pass solutions on stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I don't want to happen, because that's how you like end up with technical debt. That's how you end up with bugs that need to be fixed. That's how you end up with like even sometimes like non-straightforward things to track down, and then you only have the context for it, and it's a whole thing. So that's really what I'm trying to avoid doing there. So I'll figure out how to balance it at some point, but that's kind of what I'm working through now.
Cool, man. Well, at least you got a short week to kind of rest that brain a little bit.
Yeah, I gotta move some stuff tomorrow, so...
Oh, that's no fun.
Yeah, it'll be all right.
Just find a friend with a truck.
Rented a truck. It's crazy. Like, so we're not moving until next month. I guess I haven't... Did I mention that I moved back to Santa Cruz? If I didn't, I have now.
You have not?
I have now. So yeah, all the trucks are booked out for whatever reason, and so we have to do it in 2 trips because we can't, like, the truck we want or need,
Wow.
just can't get it. So yeah.
That's sad. I really want to come do a Santa Rosa tour and visit you, but
I mean, we can
alas.
still do it. We can drive up here.
We totally could. Or I can come see you. We go to the fun spot.
I think Santa Cruz is better personally, but we can go surfing. We can go sailing. We could just do water stuff. That's like one of my main things that I like to do, I guess. So
I'd be down for that. I did a surf lesson and on Maui. In Maui? I don't know the correct way. Please don't yell at me. At Maui? Anyway, they give you the long ass, really like the long boards that like require no balance or skill. It was great. I was exhausted. Yeah. I would love to learn how to do that properly.
I mean, I wouldn't be great at teaching it, but I could go get in the water. Jamie would do better at teaching it than I would. I mean, I can't even see. I go surfing without my glasses. So.
Oh yeah.
All I look for the change, like in the rise over the horizon. If I see like the sky disappear, I'm like, here we go, and you just learn to time it.
Awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, engineering stuff's been going fine. Like, it's kind of cool. Like, I've been mentioning like trying to just deep dive on TypeScript or like one stack, and so I don't really have a choice now. So that's what I've been doing, and I'm feeling better about it. I don't know if I mentioned last week, but I'm helping a team of iOS devs. They're working on learning some tech stuff, and so they can take their mobile expertise or their native expertise and apply it to React Native as well. Because I guess we have a lot of clients talking about wanting React Native. So, they're learning TypeScript and React and all that. And so I'm sort of overseeing a project, and it's been really interesting to observe them learn JavaScript and TypeScript and the type system and how it differs from Swift and all that. But it feels good to be able to be just like, oh, I know why, or I know what you should do here, or to feel like you have an expertise in that area and be able to help.
That's great, yeah. Being able to reach out in the Slack and just be on top of things.
Yeah, it feels, I mean, I still Google and all that stuff, but feeling like I actually have an opinion. That's maybe the biggest thing, like actually having an opinion on stuff, because so often I don't really. And so I feel like part of that expertise is, whether they're right or wrong, like having your own opinions and being able to like kind of substantiate them.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been trying to get back into Elixir a little bit, and I re-added the Elixir language Slack to my Slack.
Oh man.
And I know it's a real time sink, but getting back in there and just seeing the types of questions that people are answering and trying to think, do I know the answer to that? And just like you said, going to Google it or reading the docs or whatever, just trying to re-up on it is very, very, very quickly, gets you back in that mindset. Like, oh, okay, I do know what I'm talking about, or I don't know what I'm talking about, and I have to go learn something now.
Yeah. The other part of it is actually sharing that knowledge. Like, it's really easy for me to see people sometimes people jump into the developers channel in the work Slack and they'll ask a technical question and I just wait for someone else to answer it, even though I've like reading it then. I'll just wait for someone else to answer it. But I don't have that luxury with this project because I'm the one that's supposed to be answering the question, so I don't have a choice. Like, I have to be like, okay, here's what I think. Is this right? Research it and be like, okay, well, it's right enough. So then, relay that back to them. So, I mean, one of the things we talked about today actually was like nulls versus undefineds, like using what the preference is in using null specifically or undefined. Because some people, I guess a lot of people sort of say like, I'm going to use null if it's sort of intentional. Like if it intentionally doesn't have a value, then I'm using null, and I'm using undefined if it just hasn't been initialized. Like if there's just nothing there yet. And so there's like a difference intentions between like using null and undefined. And I can see that, but also, like the TypeScript handbook says, or not the handbook, but like their style guide says, don't use null. Like,
wait, really?
Yeah, I'll put the link to the show notes. I'm serious. It just says they just don't use null. And then in the resource I was looking at, like kind of like contrasting the two, Douglas Crockford also said that he doesn't use null anymore either, and it links to a talk where he talks about it, which I didn't have time to listen to yet. But I was like, okay, I can see. Or first, I was like, I can see like being intentional about using null. Like if you see null, then it's like there for a reason, because the developer, like, it doesn't have value yet, or the value's been reset. But then there's like, because they were asking what the convention is, and I was like, that's a good question. I've never thought about this. And after researching, it depends on who you ask.
Mm-hmm.
So
I was reading the Django docs the other day, and they were talking about I was reading about setting up migrations and their models and whatever. And there was this whole little sidebar about string types in the database, and they're like, Python considers empty string, I think, a falsy value, right?
mm-hmm.
Like similar to how JavaScript does. And I don't love that, but one of the things they do mention is like, hey, if you have a string type, probably don't allow null ever in your database, because empty string is the indication of like an empty string. Like keep the type, just have empty string indicate the fact that there's no value there, as opposed to having a concept of empty string and a concept of null, right? And then having to, coalesce and like deal with those two different types. And that was really mind-blowing, because in my head, like, they are two different things, right? And like you said, null is sort of like this thing there, there's like an absence of a value, and empty string is a thing, but like 99% out of the time, like, empty string means empty, like it means there's nothing there. Why do you have to add a null check then too? So it's not like it's take up any more RAM or storage or whatever. And that kind of blew my mind a little bit. So I started trying that and just seeing, how that feels, and I kind of like it.
Sure.
But you really blew my mind a second ago when you said that. So the TypeScript handbook says don't use null. So what do they recommend? Just using undefined, or just having like null types or something?
I meant not the TypeScript handbook, but the TypeScript coding guidelines.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, they say use undefined, do not use null. So I don't think it says that in the handbook, but that's how they author TypeScript.
Yeah, it's something I've always struggled with, is when to use null versus undefined, and I always just leaned. I was always just leaned towards null, because that's what I'm familiar with, and undefined is this weird JavaScript concept. So I just tend
Sure.
to make everything null when I don't know what it should be. But
so, I mean, what brought that up originally was I was looking at a PR, and there was sort of like null all over the place. So they've been really good about sort of type hinting themselves, and not necessarily relying on a bunch of inference, but just sort of like being proactive about type hinting. And so I noticed like there were nulls like sprinkled all over the place, which is something I'm not necessarily used to seeing. And so I just brought up the question, like, so like, let's use the React hook, like use state, for example. So if you're using TypeScript and you use use state just as a method, and you pop a value in, it's going to be that type of value, like a string or a number, and undefined. Or sorry, it's a union of that and undefined. So you could also use a generic and say, use state caret. What is that? Is it called a caret? Less than your type, and then greater than, and it also types it as that value and undefined.
Yeah, that's a caret.
Yeah, caret. So I was like, well, you could get rid of all these extra nulls laying around by just relying on, like, just knowing that TypeScript will type this as the value you're giving it in the generic and undefined. And then that's where the conversation came up, like, well, what is the, what's the convention here? Because it's pretty different from Swift. And that's been an interesting conversation anyway, like comparing and contrasting, the difference of the type systems, and how it's not really a guarantee with TypeScript, because you can still technically have runtime errors and stuff.
Yeah, Swift that's one of the things I really like about Swift, is it's really hard to write a null reference exception in Swift. Like they go, everything is using optional types, where it could be a value or null, is really frowned upon and really obvious when you're doing it. You know what I mean? Like they make you jump through quite a lot of hoops to end up in those things. Like even class initialization, that's the coolest thing, where you can't even initialize a class. It'll throw a compile time exception if every member of that class has not been defined. or initialize, I should say.
Sure.
Which is awesome. That means that it just makes you really stop and think before you just start plowing ahead and null start creeping in everywhere.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that was one thing I noticed with the TypeScript they were writing in the first place. I was like, there's not a place where they are not supplying a type specifically.
Yep.
Which is very different from like looking at especially React stuff from people that may come from a different language, because it's like they rely more on coming from a JavaScript side. Those people will definitely. Again, here I'm generalizing, okay, but the code
Sure.
that I've seen, people tend to rely on TypeScript inference more than specifically supplying a type. So yeah, I think like that was an interesting conversation because like I don't know if there even is a convention here, and so in that case, I was like, well, let's go ask the other web leads then and see what they have to say, because maybe there should be a convention within our group of people.
Sure.
For this question, but it just hasn't been a question that has come up before because I haven't like observed.
No one challenged it.
Yeah, I haven't seen a bunch of nulls getting used like that. So it was interesting. Yeah, it was a kind of a cool conversation to have.
Yeah, really great learning experience to get that extra perspective in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I feel like I'm getting a good mix of both worlds, like with engineering and management right now. We'll see how that changes. Like the project I'm on, the clients are super easy to work with, and I think that definitely helps.
Mm-hmm.
But aside from that stuff, like I've been observing the Discord and all the chatter that's been going in there, and the 3D printing channel is getting me a little bit jealous that I don't have one.
So yeah, we've gone a little ham over there. Jess ordered me a 3D printer for Christmas. She ordered it on December 9th. It came February 9th. Not because of shipping issues, just because they're just so back ordered because they're so insanely popular. And right now, I guess. I did just get it set up. I got a pre-assembled. It's the Prusa Mini Plus. It's a smaller version of Prusa's very popular printer. It has a 6-inch by 6-inch bed, so it's for printing smaller things, which is what I wanted. Honestly, I didn't want it to like take up a ton of space. I just wanted to see if it would be something I'd be interested in. And here I am already. I got my Thingiverse account. I've got stuff published up there. So it's funny you were talking about the Discord, because we were just this past weekend, right? I just got the printer in on Friday. Saturday I was setting it up. I showed some restraint and actually waited until I had time to set it up. So all during Saturday on the Discord, we had 3D printing stuff going on. You were working on your app. There were people talking about all kinds of stuff. Like the Discord was just going like nonstop all day Saturday with people making stuff. And I just thought it was such a cool vibe to have this kind of like virtual makerspace of people just doing stuff. That was really, really exciting to me.
Mm. It's kind of infectious.
It really is.
Yeah.
That you start to feed off of what other people are doing and getting excited about.
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of games. Okay, like I'm getting really good at Warzone, and that's fine. But it's hard to like. I think that time is good and it's healthy for me, but I think limiting that time is probably also good and healthy.
No, I mean, listen, don't feel bad about like taking time off to chill and feel like you have to do something productive. Like, no, that's not. I'm not trying to guilt you into that or something.
I don't feel bad for taking time to chill. I'm getting more so like jealous of like just people building stuff and having stuff that they've built, and I'm like, I want to ship stuff too. So it's more of that. It's not guilt. It's more
got it.
Inspiration maybe. So
good. Okay. Positive feedback, not negative
feedback. Not negative feedback. And like I'm doing that with an Electron app right now, and new friend of the show, Ryan, just joined the Discord, and like I've been talking about wanting to build software for the law field, and he builds software for the law field for a living. So we connected it a little bit, and so there's momentum going there. But
that's cool.
That kind of like ties into though wanting to do something away from computer, because I mean 3D printing is sort of tangential, right? Like you have to design the models and stuff on a computer, but it exists outside of bits somewhere.
Mm-hmm. That's what's so fascinating about it, to be honest. So, you okay over there? I hear some squeaky.
Oh
Is there
yeah,
a squeaky toy?
they just got home. No, it was a door.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see Watson.
Watson might mob me, so.
But yeah, the 3D printing thing. So I got the Prusa Mini Plus. It was mostly assembled, just a couple screws to get it together. Before I get any further, I want to shout out all the people who have helped me come out of the woodwork to help me. New friend of the show, Mark. My friend Eric, Paul, of course, and Paul's friend Danebo in the Discord. All these people have experience doing 3D printing seemingly for a long time now, and I'm like totally new to this. Paul even on in the afternoon on a Saturday got on a screen share with me on Discord and taught me how to use Autodesk Fusion 360. He spent like 30 minutes. He's like, here's the basics. Here's what you need to know. Do things this way. And I'm like, this is amazing. I never would have figured this out in this amount of time by myself, right? So something weird about 3D printing is it feels very cultish. Like there's a lot of word of mouth sort of knowledge that's passed on that doesn't seem to be like, I'm sure it's codified somewhere, but everyone is so eager to share their opinions about what's worked for me, what's worked for this guy that I know, what's the model of the printer that I have. It's so like green, like homegrown, do it yourself. Everyone's doing something different. Everyone has different motivations, different materials, different models of printers. It's like, it's really, really interesting to just like come into this community more or less and just be mobbed by people wanting to help you. And I said cult, but like really it's a community. It's people who just want to use to succeed because they have knowledge and experience they want to share. And that's really, really, it made it really easy for me, and it just makes me want to, it gets me more excited about it.
Yeah, that is largely what my experience was in the dev community too, early on, especially on Twitter. People just responding to my tweets and DMs, and people like Paul Straw talking to me on Skype like every other day and giving me a shot in dev and stuff like that. Like that's kind of how I ended up where I am here. So it's really encouraging and enticing to hear that as well, because it's like empowering, right? It gives you energy, it gives you motivation and momentum. I think it makes it easier for you to get momentum, which is maybe the most important thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if I was here trying to figure this out by myself, you get so frustrated and burnt out so quickly and not get anywhere, But to be able to, have the resource of, hey, I'm stuck on this one stupid thing. Let me just go ask someone. And you get a response pretty quickly. And it's, what you need to know and more probably. And again, it's all based off of experience because this field is so new and it seems like everything's changing and improving so quickly that it's hard to even keep up with like what the technology is capable of these days. So,
yeah, I mean, I don't know if Sensei is still here, but my Sensei from Vermont, we would be training, he'd be beating the crap out of me on the mat, and we'd be talking about 3D printing textiles and like all these things. I think I remember like the first time I had like visited, he like found out I was in tech, and then from then on we would roll and he would just talk to me about tech and try to like think about like what 3D printing could be, what could you change with this sort of stuff, so yeah, just shout out to Sensei if he's still in the chat.
Thomas says a community is just a cult with better brand management. I would agree with that. That's a good take. What's cool about it, besides, like you said, taking it away from the computer and being able to create something that you can physically hold, it has the same feeling of working in the wood shop, right? You're making a physical thing, right? You're kind of focusing on designing a thing that exists in a real space. But the learning the tools and being able to print arbitrary designs with almost the same sort of, you can print really simple or really complex designs with the same tool set, right? And so really the sky's the limit with what you design, it's whatever you can think up, like you can probably make it somehow. and that is from a obviously a hobbyist DIY maker perspective, that's really appealing. I'm particularly interested in like, you know, circuits and stuff. So being able to make custom enclosures for circuits like Paul did with his awesome MetaLab LED project. That was an amazing project to watch unfold. Stuff like that is really where I'm focusing. You know, I'm really interested in, you know, applying this to, but also the sort of idea of the best word I can think of is prepper, like being able to be to independently just like create things that allow you to create other things, create tools, create things that could help you, you know, around the house, things that can help you fix something, right? Like being able to be self-sufficient, I guess, with the 3D printer in your house is really kind of this cool futuristic, I don't know how else to describe it, but like it feels like it feels like voodoo sci-fi magic is really what I'm trying to get at, because that's really what it is.
Yeah, see, like Alchemist Camp in the chat is saying like wanting the matter compilers from the Diamond Age. So like Star Trek replicators. Like if things go well, teenagers will be pirating great food online, downloading it, and printing it out. I would be doing that, and I wouldn't be a teenager. Yeah, that's the dream. I think like when you're kind of explaining it being self-sufficient is sort of like a natural evolution of whatever, like, you know, Stone Age going to Bronze Age, right? It's just another level of being able to be self-sufficient. You have better tools. It just so happens that the tools we have now to make stuff, while they're not perfect and while like the plastics aren't indestructible, they're, you know, you can be much more creative because you don't need like a full-on forge to melt the metal down and have to have something to contain it, right? Like the materials are probably easier to work with and faster to iterate on and cheaper probably even to iterate on. So it's like just another extension of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Even in the program, when you go to like finish the design and tell the printer how to, you know, they call it slicing, where it tells the printer, that generates the G code to drive the printer. It actually tells you if you plug in like what filament, what type of material you bought, it actually tells you how much a thing's going to cost in material. It's usually like 40 cents or something.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That reminds me, I have to find the link to this because I don't have it right now, but in one of my feeds that I get, there was a link to a website that's completely solar powered. So sometimes the site's down because of the nature of the sun. But yeah, it was kind of cool. They were talking about it's completely solar powered, and they were also talking about like the idea of having to be always available, always on, kind of stuff. Like maybe that's not necessary. But I thought it was an interesting concept. Like this whole, it was kind of like maybe not a magazine, but it was just like a site that had a bunch of writing on it, and it was completely powered by the sun.
We have one of our remote ham radio stations is completely solar powered. We have
that's the one, Paul.
We'll put a link, solar.lowtechmagazine.com. We have a station in Haiti, which is a remote station. It's on a mountaintop. It's at like many thousands of feet overlooking Port-au-Prince. Has fiber internet, like gig fiber internet, but unreliable power. Like this is the crazy world that we live in. And so the entire station is run off of solar power. We don't have a big amplifier there. We just limit the power draw. But around 2-3 a.m. eventually the battery's just drained and the thing doesn't come back up until the sun comes back up. It doesn't last the whole night. But and I actually had to work on I had to do a thing because when the thing boots back up, the network comes up really slowly. And so some of our devices get self-assigned IP addresses, like the 169 address, because they can't, like DHCP is not working yet. So then I have to detect that and then trigger a power cycle via remote, like AC power switch to re-power cycle the thing to get a freaking IP address.
That's funny.
Yeah, the things we do, man. But
maybe I need like a solar powered gaming rig, and that'll limit my gaming time. Oh, we're out of juice. Sorry.
No, you get a stationary bike, and
I think that'll throw my aim off, though. You
get good, bro.
You can't say that to me. I'm already good. Good enough. Oh, yeah. So I'm good enough to be put in a lobby with professional Warzone players. We were shout out to Scotty. I was playing with Scotty and my brother, and we were playing, and Sensei too, and we were playing, and we saw like the kill feed, and I saw the name Huskers, and he's a pro player, like he wins tournaments. And I was like, guys, Huskers in here, and so basically we tried to get to the final circle, and we tried to ambush them. And they smoked us. Like we were up in this building, like up in the rafters and stuff, and they rolled into the building, checked the corners, and just killed us immediately. Immediately, no choice, like no chance, just killed us.
Checks out.
Yeah,
That's you don't even have time to be starstruck when you're just getting shot in the head.
we didn't. I was like, how did that happen? Like they dispatched all four of us in a matter of seconds. Like in the time it took me to figure out where the one was that was looking at me, like it was almost like the Terminator had come, and we knew it was the end, and we were just trying to hold on for as long as we can, and
Exactly.
it was wild. Yeah.
You're just grateful to be in their presence, right? Like, please kill me. I just want to experience this. What
It
this
was
is like.
it was pretty wild to experience it. So yeah, hopefully it doesn't put me in those lobbies again.
That means it thinks the matching algorithm thinks you're good enough. So
Or
that's
it's broken. I don't know. Who knows?
That could
knows?
be too. Yeah.
But see, I wouldn't have this problem if I had a solar powered PC, because then I wouldn't play enough to get that good.
I think that would hurt your rank if you disconnect in the middle of a match.
Yeah, if you play League Play, you can't actually. They don't even allow you to leave the game. You'd have to actually close the app to leave. And then
I mean,
if
if
you
power
do
goes
that,
out,
if you do that, they deduct points from your score based on like. So you get placed in a tier, and then there's a leaderboard within that tier, and so you have to progress through your leaderboard to get to the next tier.
oh wow,
And so
okay.
it's based off of points. So if you quit or DC, you lose points, which means you go down the leaderboard.
That's annoying. If it's a legit disconnect, that sucks.
Yeah. What were we talking about before that?
I don't know. 3D printing
Yeah,
is
yeah.
cool. I set up a Thingiverse. I'll put a link in the show notes of some of the things I've designed here. I've got a coaster, with my RHR company logo on it. I designed a little case for the pocket operator, which I talked about at the beginning of the episode. I designed a little, because it is just a bare circuit board. It's kind of annoying to hold, so I designed a nice little handheld case for it. Little slots for the PCB to slot in there. It's pretty cool. That was a challenging one. I learned a lot doing that one. And I also designed a little cable management thing, so it slaps on your wall, and then you can. It's made for like sorting small cables, USB lightning cables, that kind of stuff. I got all that stuff hanging around. It's nice to keep it organized. So, yeah, it's really. Paul was joking when I told him I was getting it. And he's like, "Soon you will have the power." And now I understand what he meant. It really is a superpower. And I'm like, the sky's the limit with what you can do with this. So I'm super excited to just have this be a thing that's I can do now, and is just evolving and growing in the background, and supporting my other projects. So super excited about it. And Jess is the best for getting it for me because she is.
So another link that I wanted to share was kind of in the same vein. Let me find it. Make sure YouTube doesn't autoplay on me again. Scare me. Is a YouTube channel called Stuff Made Here, and this guy is an engineer. Was an engineer. I don't know, but he makes the most insane things. And so he has like a 3D printer. He has a glow forge. He has some real like machining, like some engineer quality machine stuff. I don't even know what it's called, to be honest. But some of the things he makes are like a basketball hoop on the wall that you throw a ball at it and it moves the hoop, and the ball will always go in. You could
I
like
saw
throw it
this.
at an
This is
angle.
wild.
You could throw it really fast. The hoop will always just be in the right place. What else did he make? He made a baseball bat that.
But what's
has,
cool about this is he doesn't just show the finished product, right? He shows the failures and explains like his thought process of how he's designing and iterating on these things.
Yeah. He does a really good job at explaining it and breaking it down. What else? He made a baseball bat that like had gun shells in it, so he could like hit the world record home run distance with it. Uh, he made a golf club that would calculate the shot for him. It would like based like as he's swinging, it would change the head to make sure it went to the right place. His latest one was he had a pool stick where there's a camera above the pool table and analyzes everything. It uses a graph sort of algorithm, so it maps out all the possible shots, and it tells him which was the best shot. And he puts the stick on the table, pushes a button, and it hits the ball at the right angle, at the right speed to have it go in, and put the ball in the right spot for the next shot to line up.
That's how I used to cheat at Virtual Pool 2 on my PC back in the day. You could turn on the lines and just get a perfect shot every time. But this is real life.
Yeah, it's real. It's insane. And he has wife mode to mess with his wife. He's always pranking his wife with these builds, which is funny. It's just a good channel. It's like at first I was like, how is this person this smart? But then I was realizing he's just applying the same like learning methodologies that other people do, like learn programming or learn 3D printing or whatever. It's just he keeps doing it.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to check this out. I saw the basketball one. I'll add this to my I'm bored YouTube. I'm just subscribing. I'm subscribed. You got me. You sold me.
Did you like though?
I don't. Is that a thing?
You gotta like and subscribe.
And comment.
You have to smash the like button.
Oh, I gotta click the bell. That was what I forgot.
Right.
I forgot to click the bell. Yep.
There's 3 things you gotta do.
Good Mythical Morning reminds me every day. So
that's right.
Well, my drink is empty. You know what that means.
It's time to wrap it up and
shut her down.
Start up the printer.
Yeah, I know. I had to turn it off because I thought it's pretty loud, and I really did not want it to come through. The latest thing I printed, I did not design it, but I did download from Thingiverse a model of a actual physical Doge coin.
A Doge coin?
Yeah.
I'm trying to get my dog to come over, but he won't. He's chewing on a Wheezy right now. Making a mess on the rug.
This is the way.
Yeah. That's what he does.
Well, speaking of bells. Wait, is it Doge? Do you pronounce it Doge? Are we doing a GIF thing? No, I do GIF with a hard G, but Doge, like dog. Doge? Not like dojo. Yeah, G-E. G. G. Doge.
Here we go.
We'll finish this discussion after the wrap, after the outro.
If this makes it in the show, I will get some DMs about it. Someone will DM me about it. Oh, speaking of, someone DM'd me about my my Moonlander keyboard, so that was cool. Let me just pull the tweet up so I can shout out his...
Shout him out.
Yeah.
Shout him out.
Oh, I'm signed into the wrong Twitter account here.
I'm trying to think of other GE words. Oh no. Oh no. Am I wrong? Am I wrong on the internet? This won't do.
Gerald. Yeah, shout out to...
It's a hard G, right? Isn't it girls?
For Doge?
For Witcher. The Witcher.
I've never played it.
I think it's a hard G. Someone back me up, please. Forge, Lodge, General, Doge. But it's dog. It's dog with an E. What is that word? Gelded?
Gelded? Forgy. Logdi.
Don't... Man, I guess I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't know what else to say.
Well, if you want to,
Nope.
if you have a thought on this battle here, Doge
What is the
versus
pronunciation?
Doge.
Is it Doge or is it Doge?
Yeah, you should let us know in one of the various forms, whether that's Twitter, Discord, or Twitch.
On Twitter, you can find us tweeting at DNCcast. Sean is Sean Washbot, and I'm Rockwell.
If you're looking for a specific thing that we talked about today, all of the links will be available in the show notes at dnc.show. So head on over there. There'll be an episode at the very top. Click on it, and you'll get direct access to those links. Or I suppose you can just open the show notes in your podcast app of choice.
Except Spotify. Spotify just jams them all together, so you don't get the formatting. It's real bad.
That's not great.
Yeah. So don't use Spotify anyways, because it also doesn't have chapter markers, which I so lovingly put in there for you people, and Spotify just rips them out like it's nothing, like I didn't even put them there.
That's
Use Overcast or Apple Podcasts for real chapter markers. Or just come listen to us live on Twitch, twitch.tv/DNCcast, Thursday nights, 6 Pacific, 9 Eastern, 2 p.m. GMT, or excuse me, 2 a.m. GMT, I learned, because we have someone who needs to take some time off next week. So he's like, I never get to stay up and listen to you guys. I'm going to take Thursday and Friday off so I can stay up late and listen to DNC Live. This is a real thing that happened in our Discord today.
That's wild.
So come on by the twitch.tv/DNCcast.
Yeah, and I think as Rockwell just mentioned, the Discord. We have a Discord full of people that are making stuff, helping encourage other people make stuff, answering questions, asking questions. It's just a really good place to be right now. People are being productive, and people are wanting to help other people be productive. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, you should definitely join the DNC Discord. So there's going to be a Discord link in the show notes, and you can get to it there. Or if you go to dnc.show, at the top there's a menu and it says Discord. If you click on that, you'll get the invite as well.
We have almost 100 people in here, Paul just pointed out. That's pretty wild. And it's not to say that it's you can get lost in this community, because you definitely can't. There's a lot of chatting and community building going on over there. So please come by. It's really a lot of fun.
Yeah, we have a book club going on. We have a finance channel. There's a food channel. There's a fitness channel. There's, people are talking about everything they're interested in. So there's a little bit of something for everybody.
We got to share in the Mars Perseverance rover landing today. That was awesome. They're going to fly a helicopter on Mars tomorrow.
We'll have Thomas there to explain to us what's happening. The resident scientist.
There is some nuclear physics on the. It's how the rover gets its power, using a RTG. I think that's the acronym. They basically take the heat from a small nuclear reaction and turn it into voltage. It's pretty wild. It's what Voyager 2 used. It's what the most recent rovers use, and means you don't have to have solar panels, which is awesome. But also, it only lasts a couple of years. Thomas is going to correct me. I'm getting all these things wrong, but
he's already started a dissertation in Notion.
I'm sure. Well, Sean,
was that it? I think that's it.
We got it all.
Yeah.
No Mac OS. I do not want to try to install an update right now. Well, have a nice day off tomorrow, and get rested, and get back to people wrangling on Monday.
It sounds like a good plan.
Okay.
Wash the Watson tongue off my face. Hey, buddy.
You have so much love to give.
All right, man. I will talk to you next week.
All right. See you.
All right. Watson has love to give when he wants to give it.
Oh, I see.
It's on his terms.
The word I couldn't think of, Thomas, was the the reaction that takes heat and turns to electricity. It's like there's a name for that, and I can't think of that reaction. Thermo. What's the opposite of a Peltier cooler? I think, but I don't know what that's called. It might even just be a Peltier cooler run in reverse. I don't know.
Hey, thanks for following, Ryan.
Sensei's up in the chat, even though it took him a while to get here.
Yeah, he's here. He's always here.
He's always listening. Thermocouples. I think that's the word I was looking for, Paul. Thank you. Thermionic converter.
It was the wildest experience. Like,
did you
training jujitsu and listening to classical
Seebeck
music?
effect? That's what I was trying to think of, Paul.
Seebeck effect.
That was it. Seebeck effect. Yeah.
Oh, there's math equations here. I'm closing this.
Did you see Sensei? Where is this? He's out of control, man. He just pops in here and is like, oh God, where did he say? How much did you guys get in royalties for starring in the first Half-Life?
When is next Half-Life coming out?
Yeah, Half-Life 3.
Is that a Duke Nukem's Forever situation?
I think so. I think it's a Duke Nukem Never situation.
You know, one of the, like, a few weeks ago or maybe a few months ago, I found myself watching a Half-Life documentary for some reason.
Oh, link me that.
It's on YouTube somewhere, man. I don't recall.
So I definitely wow. The VR Half-Life Alyx is supposed to be like people. I was reading reviews of it, right, and people are like, "Don't play this game because it'll ruin all of the VR games for you." It's that good. They're like, "Wait a little bit. Try some of the other demo things, and then play Alyx because it's unbelievably good." So that's I gotta make some space in the disaster of an office here.
Disaster of an office. Yeah. I'm in a living room full of boxes right now.
Always on the move.
I forgot Sensei hadn't seen Watson yet. So he's like, "That's a big creature right there."
It's a big creature.
He's a big guy.
He's fully grown now, right?
I hope so.
God.
I don't know. They told us he was going to be 60 pounds max, so that was 30 pounds ago.
Yeah, right.
He's very gentle though. He was hiding under a bench today at the dog park because a small black lab was trying to jump up on him.
Oh my God.
So he went and laid down under a bench. Roller coaster sim? Huh. Oh well, that's kind of like Universal or whatever it is in Florida, right? Because
they have a lot of
That was pretty trippy though, because I mean,
which one did we do?
Around. We did the Bumblebee one, the Transformers.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, the illusion of motion that they give you there is pretty convincing.
It was very convincing.
Yeah.
Unless you just look behind you and then you're like, oh, okay.
Just in a warehouse. I'm just in a dingy warehouse. Yeah.
Yeah.
We did the Fast and the Fast and Furious one too? Do you remember?
I think so.
That one was like funny, but anyway, they just when you realize you're just literally sitting stationary and they're just blowing wind on you to give you the feeling of motion, it's like, oh, this is pretty lame actually.
I also remember like that guy putting a hot dog in his back pocket to go into the bathroom.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Was this part of a ride, or this is just a
something
person?
I observed?
I mean, you don't give up a free hot dog.
That's true.
But also, you don't really hold things while you're in the bathroom. Like that's a
no. So you put it in your back pocket.
You don't put the hot dog down like on top of the urinal and then pick it up again.
That's right.
You can't do that.
That's a cool experience.
That was awesome.
The Ignite conference, I guess, for everyone that doesn't know.
Yeah. Sorry, Sean and I were at MS Ignite, and on the last night they opened up all of Universal just for Microsoft employees, and there were like just bars everywhere throughout the park, just free food and drink everywhere. It was wild.
It was almost too much. I was like, this is
It was-
too much
it
food.
was- Yeah, it wasn't enough time to like enjoy it, obviously, because it was only for
Yeah.
a few hours, and yeah. It was
That's
like it was like mobbed getting in there.
Yeah, it was. It was completely stacked. And now that I think about it, in today's light, it's kind of a lot of people breathing on each other.
Terrifying, right?
Yeah.
It was totally fine then. It'll be totally fine again at some point. I don't know when.
I don't think even you, Sensei, could have put them out of business with the amount of food they had there. It was insane.
I gotta see if I have any pictures.
I have a
lot of
bunch
pictures
from,
of us staring across from each other at iPads doing VS
right.
Code.
Right. The virtual, the VS Code Online stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Harry Potter Land, too, because I took a bunch of pictures for Jamie.
Oh, yeah.
Had no theme parks. Yeah, it was pretty wild. I had never been there in the first place. Like I've been to Orlando many times, but had never been to Universal. Was it Elixir Conference, Rockwell?
Came first. ElixirConf was first. Was the first time we met up. Ignite was the second one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when we moved back to California, I saw you, like just before.
Yeah, you were. Well, it was November 2019. Was Ignite.
It all blurs together for me now.
It really does. I mean, 2020 was a wash, so.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I still need to get up to Seattle, Thomas. Or you can come down to Santa Cruz too. You can go surfing with me and Rockwell. None of us would be able to see anything. Well, I don't think Thomas. I don't think you have glasses, do you?
I got contacts. I could wear contacts.
Those suckers will fall right out of your head.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, so I tried surfing with contacts, and what would happen? Same thing with jiu-jitsu. Like I don't like to wear contacts with jiu-jitsu because if you squint a little bit or stuff, they just fall out, and then it's even worse.
Yeah, or like they roll back in your eye. Have you heard that happen?
Yeah, I've
That's
had
the
that happen
worst.
surfing, like getting just like falling and
Yeah,
getting
they get
swallowed up by
forced
a
up.
wave. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, minus 6.75 got me beat with astigmatism. That's pretty good, Thomas. I'm minus 4.5 in my left eye. It's probably worse now. I got an appointment next month.
Yeah, driving down the PCH would be cool. There's a lot of you'd have to wait for them to fix the road by Big Sur now, but it's a cool
Fires
road.
or just
No,
moving?
oh yeah, you've been down by Big Sur, right, Rockwell? The road just fell down
Oh,
into the
that's not
ocean.
good. I haven't actually been over the bridge over there, but
The Bixby Bridge or whatever it's called.
yeah, Bixby Canyon
Yeah.
Bridge.
Take a Corolla or rent a Tesla. I mean, Sensei would say a Tesla all day.
You don't have to drive, right? Is that the whole thing?
Autopilot. Corolla would probably be fine though. It's pretty chill.
I get to take out my buddy's what's the big one? The Model Y? Thing was a beast. It was like ripping down ripping down these little country roads at like 70 miles an hour. It's out of control. The thing puts you in your seat, man.
There's a lot of cool spots like in Oregon and Northern California along the PCH too, along the coast. I think is it Fort Bragg, Jamie? The glass beach that we saw? It's north, yeah. But it's near Fort Bragg, right? I don't know. We were Fort Bragg-ish, and there's a glass beach. There's like a beach with all this like sea glass on it. And what people told us was that people just used to like dump trash into the ocean. And so around there, they would throw cars in the water. And so it's like glass from cars and stuff that's washed up.
It's not a very romantic story.
No, but it looked cool.
We got any more pictures from River yet? That's curiosity. Oh, I like to browse the just like the raw images of the upload just to see like what the heck they got going on over there.
That was it's linked in. Is it in links in the links channel? Yeah,
I just posted it, or in our Discord. I'm really curious if they get the freaking helicopter thing working. Are they just gonna like? Are we gonna have a photo from the rover of the helicopter flying? Because that would be freaking awesome. Like, because the way the helicopter works is like it's a tech demo. They're not doing any science with it, but they're just seeing if it's possible. So the helicopter is actually folded up inside the rover, and so it like poops it right at the bottom, and then drives away and leaves the helicopter behind. And then the thing is supposed to like take off and do like a 30-second flight and take back land, and then they're just gonna see if it can. It's gonna hover at like 9 feet and then come back down. And it's wild to me that like they can get enough lift in an atmosphere that's like 10% of our atmosphere or something, or like less.
Watson's growling at somebody. He doesn't know who, but somebody. You heard a noise. Hey, come
Yeah,
here.
Paul, how cool would it be to have freaking drones on another planet?
Come here. Come here. This is his elephant. that he loves
Oh
very
no.
much.
It's more of a elf don't.
Well, you used to have
Elf
a rope
isn't.
for a nose and a tail, and he got just like pulled straight out.
Long gone.
Come here, bud.
You put him on your lap.
All right, here we go.
Elephant. Thank you, Paul. That's a good one. Jesus, he's taller than you now.
Yeah, he doesn't like saying like that. Yeah, a nose job. It has just no nose anymore. He did that to me yesterday in a meeting. He just kind of like came up and put his paws on me, and so I picked him up like that. And then other people joined, and we were just staring at each other, and they're like, "Oh my god!" Watson's running to stand up today.
Yeah, everyone's new coworkers are their pets. Martian hawk, huh? That would be something. I wouldn't even be mad.
That'd be a real Independence Day situation.
Really.
Elephant. That's funny.
Rockwell, do you have a idea for your first custom electronics project with the printer? My thought right now is to sort of recreate what I have and like see what it would take to take something that I have existing and just recreate it with the printer and see what that process looks like, because I know it's like almost finished already. I just want to see what it would look like. I can show you here. Hold on.
Oh, cool. That solar-powered website shows the battery left on the side. takes on Ted Cruz. I haven't looked at the news in a few days.
So unfortunately I don't have the real project here. I don't know why, but I've got this box thing that I'm designing for RHR. And what I've been doing in the past is making these end panels as PCBs. This is an extruded aluminum enclosure. It doesn't have any end caps, right? It's just looks like that with the PCB that slots in it. And you can see it. Right? And so yeah, I would like to be able to like do this end panel and see if I can get it to look right and be you know, have the holes be in the right spot. And start small. Oh, yeah. They're 75 millimeters or whatever. You can put the PCB at different heights. You don't need any hardware to do it. Yeah. So that's what I love about these cases. They're expensive as anything, but you don't need to do anything. This is the end panel that it comes with, right? It's just a blank aluminum thing, but I had the PCBs printed up. I wish I could find the real one. Yeah, I was wondering about the lettering too, because the thing I like about this is it's just silkscreen right on there, which is awesome. It looks great, right? But I don't know if I could get the detail I would want to get the lettering on there. It'd have to be pretty big and chunky. You think deboss would be what? Bump it out? As opposed to emboss, which should be in, right? You want to deboss it so it like sticks out? I wonder about that. You definitely have to try it. Yeah. Yeah. I also have a fun idea of doing something similar to what you're doing, Paul, which is like an LED-based project, like a gift for some friends that has like a little inside joke that we have, just like some text with some light that shines through. Maybe does like a pattern or something. As like a gift ideas for my friends. I think that would be cool. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I don't have a lot of electronics projects really in the pipeline. If I did, I would definitely be a lot more inclined to just dive right into that. But haven't really been spending time on that recently. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I've been browsing I just go on Thingiverse and browse through all the ham radio projects they have on there. There's lots of cool people making like antenna parts and enclosures for things, and you can like print out a Morse code key, right? Like that's great. You know, you just have to put some metal contacts on it, and stuff like that is cool. Embossing is when you raise it out. That feels wrong. It sounds wrong. Emboss. I have to think about what the Photoshop filter looks like, but then again, like you can put the shadow so it comes from anywhere, so yeah. Yep. Sean's over there researching 3D printers now. I can see it.
I'm looking at the solar powered site.
Oh, that is cool. I gotta check this out. Links in the show notes. How did our episodes icon become a CD?
The jewel case, man.
Love Tech Magazine sometimes goes offline. This is great. On the background is like the charge level.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Cool, man. I have another idea too, Paul, but I'll be right back.
Boo, 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 boo. It'd be cool to get my solar power setup going again in the yard. Hey, buddy. This is what he's playing with right now. Here you go. Yeah, it'll be nice to not have to worry about it too much after a while. Something more set in a place that we like to. It'll be kind of nice. It's like having, I don't know, being in apartments for so long, you can't do anything. There's not really any projects you can do. And then especially here, the only place Watson can be off leash is in the dog park, and there's always other dogs and small dogs in there. So kind of still have to watch him. Not that he's violent, but he's just big. You know, you could step on one on accident. So it'll be nice to have like a spot where he can just kind of roam and do his thing. Be a dog. Dig holes. Virginia? The only alternative would be Providence. I've been through Virginia. I haven't really... Well, I stayed in Virginia Beach for a little bit, but... Yeah, we're just down there for the weekend.
So... this other idea is this thing. So, this is a concept I've been working on. I'm sorry, were you guys... I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good.
Okay. This is a concept I've been working on for a modular ham radio remote control solution where, like right now with our stations, we've just got a bunch of boxes, right? And they're all just plugged together with cables. It works fine, but how nice would it be if you had a real plug-and-play modular, like enclosed solution that was nice and clean and didn't have to worry about wires getting pulled out, could easily replace things on the fly, was all interoperable, like just components that you just plug together and go. And this was sort of my first pass at this concept where like you have this literally just like slots, you know, there's a slot for a Raspberry Pi, daughter board. This is like an audio interface card. This one is just a bunch of electromechanical relays for doing switching of things, right? Remember, I designed this one in the stream a long time ago. Mm-hmm. No, the current equipment is literally just a bunch of boxes like sitting on whatever horizontal surface we have available, whether just like, metal racks or like metal shelving, you know, wire shelving or whatever we have available. It's a real mess. I would love to have it be a nice clean thing. And so this is like the first stage of like, I like the idea of slots because they're physically like support themselves, right? You don't have to worry about the mechanical connections. But also now that I have the power of 3D printing, that is a zero concern now because I don't care about mechanical connections because I make solid mechanical connections now. So like, and the thing about doing the slots is like you have to predefine what the pinouts are ahead of time, and it's really inflexible if you want to change or add or something because now like everything's connected to everything and you don't want to, you know, it's not amenable to change. So I'm not totally sold on the solution, but it is cool. These jumpers, these were just they were just 2x8 pin headers, so I could attach daughter boards with a ribbon cable to like a, well, just, you know, I could attach other boards to it. They provide let's see, 12 volts, 5 volts. No, they just provide 12 volts, ground, 3.5 or 3.3 volts, and then I2C lines. That's all they do. So it's for connecting I2C devices off board. And that's just 12 volts. Power pole connector. But I have a dream for like something like this that is a nice interface and I could basically print some kind of panel so it's nice and clean on the front, hide all the crap behind, and but easily accessible. And I was trying to draw some inspiration from how synthesizers are set up with their because they're similar sort of things. It's modules, they all plug together. It's got I/O, it's got power in the back. Like it's the same setup, and those are very flexible and very clean, and tons of different modules that can do that way. So I've been trying to get some inspiration from how they do things like patch cables and all that stuff.
That's what I was gonna say. It reminded me of like guitar.
Yeah,
chains.
absolutely. It's like imagine having like what's cleaner, having a rack like what's the guy from U2?
The Edge.
Yeah, it's like having the Edge, a rack of things, or having like a pedal board with all this stuff that's like wired together, right? It's kind of like comparing those two things in my mind.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to just these days justify touring with a bunch of units that all could like they're all vectors for failure, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Versus having an Axe effects and a backup.
The weight,
clone
the power.
everything. Yeah, you could clone everything. You have a redundant backup. You could be playing through them both at one, and there's an automatic failover if one fails.
Cool.
You know what I
Really?
mean?
You can do that?
Well, I mean, your tech could slap a pedal, and like
Yeah,
the output
exactly.
would be coming from another one, or you could slap a pedal. I don't know.
Yeah.
That was always a pain in the ass for me, like especially touring in the South, like in Florida. If we had to play an outdoor show and it's just sticky out, your cables would go bad, your pedals would go bad. There were a few times where we were playing festivals and it would just rain, and the stages were covered, but you would still get moisture, from outside in your stuff. Yeah. So like your stuff would just fail. So then you had to have two of everything or two of the most important things. And then if you have a pedal board, one of the patch cables fails, then it's like, which one is it? You got to plug in. You have to like test each thing.
Yeah.
What a nightmare that was. And God forbid it was like a cord, like, because if you wanted a nice pedal board, you'd have to buy like a kit where you solder the cords to custom lengths, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So then you're dealing with, I don't know how to solder,
Yeah. Did I make a good connection there? Yeah.
Or you get a solderless kit where it basically just like screws in really tight, right?
That's always problematic too.
What a nightmare. Anyway.
Yeah.
That was always a thing. I traveled with, I still have it. It's at my parents' house, but I have a big power conditioner. I would never plug anything into any outlet directly without plugging into the power conditioner.
Yep.
Yeah.
One of the things I actually wanted to talk about on the show, but I just totally skipped over it, was like, I was talking with Mark about this in our channel, was selling things that are 3D printed feels broken. Like it's unfinished. There's like tool marks on it. It's like if it's not injection molded, like do people want something like this? But also in the same sentence, like I literally went to eBay, found a 3D printed thing for the stupid hobbyist project that I was working on, and then instantly bought it because I didn't have a 3D printer yet. This was like a week before I got it, right? So I was like, I found this thing. I was like, this is weird. It's 3D printed, but a guy made it. I know it'll fit exactly and do exactly what I want. I'm just going to spend the $30 on it or whatever, And Paul makes a good point. Like, look at the printer I just bought. The printer itself, you can kind of see it in the background there. Itself is mostly made up of 3D printed parts. It's all extruded aluminum and motors and mostly 3D printed parts that they made using their own printers. They're self-replicating, Sean. They'll soon take over. And like, I guess the only way to find out is just see if there's a market. Just put it out there and just see if.
Yeah, why not?
Like it literally costs you nothing. You don't have to keep stock, right? Like
it's not that much different than Etsy, right? Like people hand make stuff all the time.
Yeah, I think right. Yeah, and like you could print it yourself, but like not unless you're a nerd like us, like you're not set up to do that.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I've just been thinking a lot about that. Mark is making like 100 of these like maple syrup boil temperature sensor things. Like it's crazy. He's just doing it all, and he's gonna make 1 million of them and sell them. And
Make a 3D print some dog toys in some like environmentally friendly or like human animal friendly material. Dude, you know how much money we waste on toys for this guy to just destroy it?
Apparently
Hold on.
Is a whole thing.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, so Paul brings up post-processing, and this is something that I'm very interested in because I think it really makes a difference. And 3D print coding. Yeah, see, I in my head I always imagined it being some sort of like a removal process where like some kind of acid or something can etch away the bumps. But filling in the bumps, I think, is probably more practical or realistic.
Is one. I have to switch over to the preview. It's a pig.
Yeah.
Here, this way. So basically, stop that. He has.
I see a lobster. Just looks like a thing of shop rags,
a
man.
Lobster. This thing. This ball he will throw in the air and it's dangerous. It just slams on the floor.
He's getting all excited now.
Yeah, he's sitting right here. Here's a rope that he shredded. This Gumby looking thing. I don't know what it is.
I know what it is. Unidentified.
I don't know what this was either.
It's like a koala, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah. What's left of this rope?
It's just a rope.
He wants it too. I don't know if you can see his nose right here. He just grabbed it. Anyway, so much money goes into what will become a pile of scrap.
Mm-hmm.
If you could, I mean, material it would cost, right? But it probably costs way less than, hey, he's taking stuff out. I don't. I have to like switch to the other preview. Here we go.
He's just going for it. Good boy. What a good boy. Go get it. Get it. There he goes.
He's still doing it. Anyway, like the materials would have to cost less than this finished product that you're buying, right? You're paying for packaging, shipping, marketing, whatever, right?
Oh, printing molds isn't interesting too, huh? I guess making them reusable would be the thing. Concrete planners. Oh, Paul, I gotta try this now.
There.
I'm also interested in making like making tools. You know, that's what my friend Eric does for his business. Like he makes tooling fixtures out of his printers, and I think it'd be cool to make stuff for the wood shop. That's I don't know, specialty tools and jigs for things. I think would be really cool. You can also make a print and then use that print to make another mold out of a more heat resistant material. Gloss PLA instead of hot wax. Yeah, okay, so you... Interesting. Make another mold. Okay, so you use the PLA as the positive, and then you make a mold out of something hard using the negative, and then you take the PLA out with heat or something. Yeah, lots of... I didn't even think about that. What's he doing, man?
I was playing tug of war.
Wow, okay, that's cool, Paul. That is cool. There's this other project that I am a little personally invested in. It's a ham radio project, of course. It's called the Buddy Pole. It's a little homemade antenna design. It's actually my most popular video on my YouTube channel. It's got like a lot of views over the past 10 years or so.
You have a YouTube channel?
I mean, it's just my Rockwell channel. I haven't posted there in a while. And the buddy pole is normally made out of entirely out of hardware store parts, like CPVC is primarily what they use for the supports because it's really lightweight and easy to work with and stuff. Thomas is a subscriber. He smashed that subscribe button. Hit that bell, Thomas. And but so normally the buddy pole is made out of CPVC, and they go through all these great hoops to like use materials that get off the shelf. But like they also make a commercial version of the buddy pole, which is all nice machined aluminum and has all these special, really, really specialized parts, like make this antenna. It's a portable antenna. Yeah, Paul. It's I guess I am quite a bit younger in those now, and it would be cool to make the components for a buddy pole. I'm like, why haven't we done this yet? Eric has a commercial buddy pole. I'm like, why haven't we printed a buddy pole yet? He's like, oh shoot. So anyway, God, when was that video? That was videos taken in Santa Rosa, actually.
Oh, I made a mess.
You're taking the blame for? I think he made the mess, man. God, it has 123,000 views. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. February 17th, 2013. God, I wish. Wow, it's exactly almost to the day. God, I miss that February weather though, I'll tell you that. 8 years ago. Check out that St. Bart's video if I did not share that. The one I posted, which was actually a year ago. I was in St. Bart's a year ago and got to tag along for a flight in St. Bart's, which is a very famously short airport. See, Thomas knows all my greatest hits. He's a true super fan.
It's a good one. I think I need a rock soon. I gotta pack.
Yeah. That was a wild experience. Oh yeah, it's popular on Flight Sim because they in Flight Simulator they actually like modeled the whole airport with really high detail. It's one of the big, like one of the dozen or so airports that they actually modeled.
Boop, 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 boop.
Remember when you blow up? I hope I don't do any blowing up in an airplane, Thomas.
Your YouTube channel.
Oh, okay. Oh God, I got all these 2000. It's starting to get into cringe territory. I'm looking at my 2007 videos when I was like just out of high school. Whatever, it's there for posterity.
Whoa, dude.
All right, I will let
Buddy
you.
pole.
Buddy pole.
WW1X.
Hi, I'm WW1X. I'm a nerd. For some reason, there's a big green frame at the beginning of the video.
Sites.google.com. Did I just get hacked?
Is that site still up there?
Yeah.
No, it's a good old Bud Drummond. I see him every year at Hamvention. Skate park test. Oh, God, that's a deep cut. I don't even remember what that was.
You're the Smarter Every Day original.
No,
version.
hardly. Oh, skate park test. What was I testing here? Oh, this is when I just got the Nikon D90, and like it was the first DSLR to support video recording, but it was only 720p, and it was this potato quality. But it was cool because I could use my ultra wide lens on it, so it was like really novel. Yeah, I was in, was it 2008? Yeah, I was a sophomore high college, I guess. Oh, right. I'm actually skating in this one, too. Oh, God, it's so bad. Oh, it's so bad. Anyway.
Taylor Mountain. I know
Yeah.
Taylor Mountain.
You sure do. It was freaking hot up there, man. There's not like a single tree. California mountains are weird, man. They're just weird. On the East Coast, like if you have a mountain, it's usually on a state park or something. But in California, every single mountain is freaking privately owned. You can't really get up on top of mountains, which sucks because I don't know. I like to go hiking on top of things, and usually they're just accessible. And a lot of times here in California, they're not.
No, they're not.
Yeah, because Taylor Mountain is on the. That's part of Jamie's. Her the preservation or whatever, because that just opened when I moved there. Like it was brand new. What's she gonna do? Or we can talk about it off if you want.
Same job, work remotely.
Oh, cool. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Yeah. I gotta get running though because I got a lot of stuff to do. I got still
Yeah, all right.
before.
Good luck with the move, man.
Thanks.
Right.
I'm only doing half tomorrow.
Yeah. Make it a half.
Yeah.
Oh, you're moving half. You're not working half.
No, I have tomorrow off.
Yeah.
But we're only like doing half the move tomorrow, so.
That's good.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll talk to you this weekend, I'm sure.
Yeah, talk to you later.
All right. See you, everybody.
See ya.